Welcome back to Morning at NTV. My name is Malaki Vilaodera. Now today on the Solutions segment, we'll be looking at how can we celebrate our teachers. We have so many brilliant people in society, you and I, who are making a difference, but we never go back to credit the teachers who played that major role in getting us to this point where we are at now. And so in studios to talk about that and so much more on how best we can celebrate these teachers is Charlotte Oloya. Thank you so much for joining us. You are the country manager of Vake Foundation. Next to her, we are also joined by Catherine Nakabungo, who is also a teacher, a nominee for what we'll be telling you about today. And this is the Global Teacher Prize 2018. Thank you so much for making time.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. Oloya, why did the Vake Foundation think about a prize, a global teachers prize, as opposed to any other form of celebrating teachers in society?
In 2013, as a foundation, we ran a Global Teacher Status Index. And we asked the question, what is the status of the teaching profession worldwide? And the results were alarming. We found that the teaching profession is not a greatly respected profession, and more importantly, that people weren't choosing education as a first choice. And as a result, we decided that this is a great opportunity to celebrate teachers and to redeem the status of the teaching profession worldwide. Yes.
So you thought that giving a prize as opposed to any other form would be a great way to just celebrate them?
So it's about bringing back the status,
yeah,
to show that teachers are important. And if we can have Oscars for actors, why can't we have a prize that celebrates great people who are doing an inspirational job in the lives of our children worldwide?
Okay.
Yes.
So this year will be what year since you started?
This will be the 5th year running. We started in 5 years ago, and we've had over 30,000 applications to the prize last year. And this will be the 5th year where we'll be celebrating great and inspirational teachers from across the world.
How has the reception been so far since you started the awards 5 years ago?
It's been extraordinary. We couldn't have thought of how big it would have become. So to have 30,000 applications is amazing. We're listening to stories from all over, from China to Uganda to Kenya to South Africa to South Sudan. People are telling their stories, and there's so many amazing stories out there.
Amazing stories out there. And we, of course, have an amazing story right here, thanks to Catherine. You are a teacher. Please tell us about the school and how you got to know about the Vake Foundation Global Teacher Prize.
Thank you so much, Mara. My name is Catherine once again. I got to know the Global Teacher Prize through social media. A teacher who uses social media so much. So I got to see the Global Teacher Prize on social media. And I also had a friend from India who was also a top 50 finalist. And we collaborate at my school. We do different projects with her of classes. And so when she saw what I was doing with her, she was able to tell me that, Catherine, you can apply for this Global Teacher Prize. We can nominate you. So I went down, and since I had seen it before in 2015, so I went back and read about it. So I started writing the application.
You started writing the application.
Yes.
And here you are now, a nominee for the 2018 Global Teachers Prize.
Finally.
You are a teacher of mathematics and science at St. Andrews Kagwa Gome School. And so there's this conversation that we've been having about girls not embracing science and math, but here you are, you're a teacher of science and math. Tell us a little bit about that and what you're doing to make sure that that notion changes, that girls now get to that point where they embrace sciences and mathematics.
Yeah, basically I'm a math teacher, and I'm a girl child advocate. I love girls, and teaching mathematics, it's one of the things I've enjoyed in this life of teaching. One of the things I'm doing to see that girls love mathematics is I have a math club at school. And so I started this club these clubs in 2013. So I've seen how, because we come together, discuss different challenges, you are with them, I teach them in class, because many schools, they don't have female teachers,
Right.
and that's why girls fear a lot of math. They think that math is for men because they are taught by men. So I go to class, I teach them. After classes, we go for discussions in our club. So I have seen an impact through the math club. So they have in fact, the classes I teach, girls are the best in math.
Amazing.
Yes.
Okay. All right, congratulations for that high five. Because I know even during my days in school, girls used to be very afraid of mathematics, science. We used to take subjects like, you know, geography, history, home science and stuff like that. But these hard things, many used to shy away from that. And I'm happy that now girls are embracing science and mathematics in a positive way. Madam Oloye, let's speak about this year's Global Awards that are scheduled to take place. Is it in December?
In March. In March 2019.
In March
yes.
2019, but it will be the 2018 awards, right?
So we've opened applications for the 2019 prize.
Okay.
And they close on the 23rd of September this year. And we'll announce the top 50 finalists for 2019 in December this year. And then we'll announce the winner at our Global Education and Skills Forum in Dubai next year.
So the 2018 award has already been given?
It was given this year,
Okay.
in March this year, to Andrea Zafaruki from the UK. Yes.
From the UK.
Yes.
Let's speak about that. Do we have an African, over the 5 years of us seeing these awards, have we seen an African win this award, take this award home?
We are yet to see an African win the award, but we've had 17 Africans amongst the top 50, among whom are Catherine Nakabugo and Ronald Dungu, who is a math teacher. He used to be at Gayaza High School.
Right.
He's now at St. Mary's College, Kisubi. We've had quite a few Kenyans in the top 10 finalists. In 2015, Jacqueline Kahara was one of the top 10 finalists from Kenya. We've had 2 Kenyans in the top 10. So we're yet to see an African, and we're hoping that this year we'll have some amazing stories from Uganda,
Yeah.
so that we can be able to shine the spotlight on Ugandan teachers, because we are quite aware that there are so many Ugandan teachers who are doing an extraordinary job.
I get that, and of course that brings me to the other question then. If we've not seen an African take this award home yet, what are the requirements, what are the qualifications they're looking out for them to just award X person this award?
So we're looking for teachers who are impacting in the classroom. They're ensuring that they're good student learning outcomes, but it's not just about passing. It's also about how you're impacting in your community, how you ensuring that the teaching profession in your community and with your teachers is being uplifted. Have you been recognized by the government, or have you got any other awards? What is it about what you're doing in your classroom that is replicable and scalable? So Catherine has been talking about her math club. This is something that she can take to another school. She does it in her school in St. Andrews, Gombe, but she's also partnering with a school in Luwero called Lusenke Primary School, talking about maths and encouraging girls in primary school then to enjoy math and say math is not hard. I'm a female teacher, and I'm a female maths teacher. So we're looking at teachers like that whose strategies can be replicable, not just in their classroom, not just in their community, but in other communities across the country, but even across the world. So those are the teachers that we are looking for.
Is it just that, or there's an X factor as well that these teachers have to have? Because I'm thinking here in Uganda we have great stories, we have great teachers who are making great impact. I'm sure right now if we were to tell our viewers to just tweet us or send us messages on teachers who have made an impact, who are still making an impact, we'll have so many of them. So what's the X factor to it?
They have to write that application.
Okay.
We cannot know the great stories if you do not apply. And so it's important that you sit down. Catherine said she sat down and started writing her application. And it's something that you have to go onto your computer and actually write. There's so many teachers, but many times we talk to teachers and they say, oh, it's a long process. But if it's a long process, then we will never know the great work that you're doing. And then the other teachers, and it's always amazing when teachers say, but I do that in my classroom. But then the question is, did you apply?
You didn't apply.
You did not apply. So the first step you need to do is go onto that website, It's www.globalteacherprize.org and start the application process. If you know of a great teacher, nominate them for the prize, because without you telling the story, we won't know of the amazing teacher in Kabong who is doing an amazing job.
Right. And of course, I'm sure there's a way that someone has to apply, especially when they're coming off to give off information, such information and the impact they're making.
Yes.
So as they apply, what is that one thing that you look for, that the panel looks for when they're reading through, just to shortlist the candidates?
So the story that you write should not only be words. You should also, a picture is worth 1,000 words. There are lots of pictures that you've taken of the impact that you've had in your communities. If you have video stories from your children, from your learners, from your parents about the work that you've done and the impact that you've had in the community, that would be something that would push your application a bit further. But it's also how you tell your good story. So it's not just writing words, but tell a story of the impact with passion. You know, you can read passion in an application. So of how passionate you're about teaching, but also what you are going to do about the teaching profession. Catherine has quite rightly said that she goes into class and she encourages children to study mathematics, and she is a role model that, you know, education is key, but it's also very important for me to be a teacher, and that as teachers are important. And so as the person who applies should be able to show that I am a teacher and I am important, and I want to encourage other people to apply, to become teachers. Because if we don't have people, the best and brightest, coming into teaching, then we're in trouble as a country.
So true, so true. You've said that someone can also nominate a teacher. What's the process? So from application stroke nomination to you shortlisting to them being, you know, top whatever, is it top 10?
Top 50. Yeah.
Top 50.
Yes.
And then getting to that process of the Global Prize Award.
Yes.
What's the process?
So when applications close on the 23rd of September, all the applications, nominations will go into a pool.
So if I nominate my teacher, for example, my high school teacher, I have to get to the website to nominate them?
Yes, so you have to go to the website. So on the website, they'll ask you whether you're applying or nominating.
Okay.
And so if you want to nominate your high school teacher, obviously you go to the nominate button, and an email will be sent to your teacher to say you've nominated them, Catherine has nominated them for the prize, so please start your application.
Okay.
Yes, so that's part of the nomination. If you're doing the application, you fill out your details, and after filling out your details, you say send. And yes, so after 23rd of September, we'll have a pool of applications. Hopefully there will be thousands and thousands from Uganda. And we have an online judging panel that will read each and every story that has been sent, and we'll be looking out for those things. How are you being creative within the classroom? What are you innovating? Is your story past your classroom, but your community, your school, your country? And that online, the online judging, the marks, they give marks to each story, and each of the best, it will be graded according to the best, 100 going down. These will be sent then to PwC, and then PwC supports the process of then picking the top 50. Those top 50 will then be announced in December. In February next year, before February next year, we'll pick a panel of judges who will then pick the top 10. And in 2015, Jacqueline Kahara was part of the panel that picked the top 10 finalists for the Global Teacher Prize. It includes the trustees of the Vaki Foundation, educators, respected educators from across the world, and we always ensure that there's an African on that panel to ensure that our stories are also being told.
There's an African
Yes,
on the
there's
panel.
always an African on the panel.
Okay.
Yes.
Because the question that you're getting on social media right now is the reason as to why many of Africans don't, you know, get these awards is because the panelists are just Muzungus. Yeah, you know, who many a times people think are biased, so they will go for their fellow Muzungus. So at least now we have, and why is it just one African?
So it's a panel of 10. And we have to represent all the continents and all, everybody. But the trustees of the Vaki Foundation are there as well. But we ensure that there's an African every year on that panel to ensure that we are reading the stories from an African context as well. Yes.
All right. So the prize comes with its own goodies. Tell us about that.
The prize is $1 million to the best teacher who is announced at our forum in March every year. It's $1 million, yes. And it would be amazing if a Ugandan could get that $1 million. Yes,
So you're just given the $1 million. Are you, you know, taught how to use this $1 million? Because I know financial literacy is another big thing. You get $1 million today and your brain just shuts down. You don't know what to do next. True. We see this happening.
Yes.
Even in the lotteries, the bettings, people win this money and tomorrow they're nowhere to be seen because the brains just shut down, and or they get into doing crazy things. They don't know how to invest that money, or moving forward, how can they use that money? So do you provide that as well, financial literacy?
Yes, you're quite right. I was just computing it in Uganda shillings. It's about 3.7500 billion Uganda shillings.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money,
right.
yes. But yes, we do get into financial literacy. There's a training that the winner goes through. They have lots of talks about how you present yourself on social media, how you spend the money, whom you talk to. There's quite a bit of training that goes into this when you're announced as the winner of the Global Teacher Prize.
Okay,
yes.
so there's a lot of training
Yes,
that goes
there's quite
into
a bit
that.
of training, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
and moving forward, do you follow up with a teacher? And also, of course, given that one person just won the prize, it doesn't go to say that other teachers were also, not of quality, or they didn't make an impact.
Yeah.
So how then do you make sure that every person that applied, or at least was shortlisted to the top 50, feels as though they are appreciated, so to speak?
So the top 50 form part of what we call the Vaki Teacher Ambassador Network.
Okay.
And Catherine is part of that Vaki Teacher Ambassador Network, and Ronald Dungo as well. And the idea is that these top 50 then go ahead to inform policy in their countries and across, for us here, across Africa. In Africa, at the moment, we have 17. Right now, we have 200 global Vaki Teacher Ambassadors worldwide. In Africa, we have 17 from South Africa, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, Malawi, and Tanzania. And these, we met in July in Nairobi, and what we're talking about is how, as some of the most celebrated teachers and best teachers on the continent, how can we inform policy on the continent? How can we improve ourselves? So the network, we speak on a regular basis. It's about supporting one another in teacher training. It's how do we support? How does South Africa support Uganda? How can we get to the African Union and then inform policy? Because we cannot inform correct policy if teachers are not at the table. And so the Vaki Teacher Ambassadors we make sure that they are at the table. If it's about conferences to attend, we make sure they have a speaking slot to talk about the issues that are plaguing our continent and our country. If it's for Uganda, if it's if we're talking about a new teacher policy, we ensure that they have a voice there, and that going forward, that's what we do. But even with the community, it's not just about Africa.
Right.
Catherine can tell you that a few weeks ago we had one of the top 10 finalists last year called Deval. He's been in the Guinness Book of World Records, and for teaching mathematics for about I think 7 hours consistently. He's a great math teacher, and he was in Uganda to talk to the Mathematics Society. And these are the opportunities that the network provides, that if Catherine wasn't part of the network, this was something that Ugandan teachers would not have been able to benefit from. So we don't look just at the prize, and many people say it's one person. So it's not just about the prize, but it's about the community. And for us as Africans, it's about a community, to widen the community, to say we have a voice, to get onto the panel and say we need more teachers, and to influence at that level.
Part of your other goal as Vaki Foundation is just to ensure that every single child out here has access to quality, not just education, but quality education, especially children from underprivileged, kind of families. So how are you doing that, and what strategies have you put in place just to ensure that you achieve and attain that goal? Because it's a big discussion here. We in the city live in our own cocoon, but when you go on ground, reality hits hard. We have children, we have schools that you can't even imagine your child just studying there. So as Vaki Foundation, what strategies have you put in place just for you to attain that goal of every single child accessing quality education? All
right. So we do, so apart from the Global Teacher Prize, we do teacher training. We run programs in 3 countries in the world. We run programs in West Africa, in Ghana. We run programs in Argentina. And we also run a program here in Uganda. It's called the Instructional Leadership Program. And what the program does is create instructional leaders through our head teachers and senior leaders in the school to teach better within their classrooms. It focuses on pedagogy. It's just about how you teach. and employing effective instructional practices in our large classes. So we recognize we can't have a class of 20 or 30, but we have a class of 100. And how can you ensure that there's active teaching and learning within that classroom? And so we support teachers. We provide training for head teachers and senior leaders every school holiday on how to teach better. So how do you do a think, pair, share within your classroom? How do you teach mathematics in a more interactive way?
Is this across the country?
Yes, it's across the country. At the moment, we focused on northern Uganda and central Uganda, but this is something that we're expanding.
Okay.
We're not looking just at in-service teachers, the teachers that are already teaching within the schools, but even in our primary teacher training colleges. So that the teachers, as they're coming out of the college, they already have 21st century pedagogy.
Yeah.
You know, they know how to manage. You don't get into the class and say, oh my God, there are 120 children within this class. What do I do about it? But it is possible with our minimal resources, with the capitation grant being so little, to employ effective instructional practices within the classroom and make sure that that is sustainable. And that's why we focus both on pre and in-service teacher training that is sustainable year in, year out, to ensure that there's quality education for those learners. Yes.
All right. Madam Catherine, you're now a Vaki Foundation ambassador, teacher ambassador. How has that made an impact to you as a teacher and also to you as an individual, as a person? How have you grown?
Yeah, being a Vaki teacher ambassador, it has really changed my status. It has, I was telling my country manager that one of the things that Vaki has taught us is to use social media to market yourself, to raise the standard, raise your status. How do you use social media? Now I'm on all social media platforms. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook. So those are things that I have learned, and they have taken us through a training in Dubai of only social media masterclass. And I've seen that social media is something very perfect. I'm now following big people in Africa, big people in the whole world who are doing incredible work.
Yes.
And I'm learning from them. They send to me direct messages, and so some of the things. So that is number one. Two, I have got a network of teachers, because as Charlotte has said, it's not all about the prize. Yes, I didn't win the $1 million,
Yes.
but joining this community has also changed my life, that we do projects. We call them passion projects, because every teacher ambassador is supposed to have a passion project, a project you are working in your country, in your class, and maybe which is applicable in different schools in the country. So I'm working on sustainable development goals with other teacher ambassadors across the in the Vaki team. I'm also working on the Kids Innovation Camp. It is an online program. So my students are working on all this. So I believe if I had not joined the Vaki Teacher Ambassador, I would not even be, I would not know all these things.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So as we come to a close, your last remarks, and to you, your last remarks as well, 1 second each.
I would like to encourage all Ugandan teachers to apply for the Global Teacher Prize 2019. If you do not tell your story, we will not know of the amazing job that you're doing. Thank you very much.
All right. Catherine?
Yeah, to me, I want to tell the teachers who are out there that please go for this thing, apply for the Global Teacher Prize, come and join us. We want to see this money coming to Uganda this year.
Thank you so much, ladies, for joining us today. That is the great message. Go out there, apply, apply, apply. You never know. So that has been the discussion here on Solutions segment. Up next is Take Note.